right, welcome back. Let's get into the trending topics for today and our question of the day as well. So, all right, trending topics. No surprises what you're going to wake up and be finding. Eskom, Stage 6, Stage 10, Phala Phala, believe it or not, those are all linked. Let me talk you through them. So we know what's going on with Eskom. Stage 6 load shedding. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's ridiculous. I don't know about you, but I mean, we literally had no electricity yesterday. I mean, it was just crazy, and for all of us as well. I mean, you would go for, look at your times. I mean, you'll go from, 2.5 hours, then another 2.5 hours. Then, I mean, in my area, we were gone for, at one point, 4.5 hours. We never had electricity. And then again for another 2.5, again for another 2.5. And just when you think you've seen it all, boom, another 2.5. It's just so bad at the moment. And I'm not certain how people can conduct their lives, run businesses and do things normally. Obviously, if you've got the money and you've been able to go out there and buy generators and inverters and whatever else it takes to keep your house on, to keep your business going, that's great, but that's an additional cost. You think of the fridges, the foodstuffs, the people that think to themselves, well, what's the point of opening? Well, anyway, the reality is that this is a severe problem, and we're in a crisis right now when it comes to electricity. We were even warned yesterday about the water supply due to the Stage 6, and that there's going to be a problem because I know Johannesburg Water released a statement. I'm not sure if the other water suppliers around the country did the same, just saying the breakdown in the electricity is going to affect that with the water pressure, and in some areas no water. So it really is just causing havoc. We heard our president coming back straight after the Queen's funeral to address this. Well, what is he going to say? What's he going to do? You remember the last time he cut a trip short to come back and talk about it? And then what happened? I don't know. That's a question I think all of us are asking. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Does he have a solution? Has he got a plan? Or is he just going to fly back and be here? Which I suppose is a good thing. But at the end of the day, whether he's here or sitting at the United Nations General Assembly with no plan, it makes no difference in our lives. We need a definite plan. We are in a bad state. So that is what South Africa is speaking about. So that's why Eskom is trending. Stage 6 is where we're at the current moment. We're on that level, Stage 6. And then, of course, Stage 10 starts trending too. And then people are just, this is where people just start saying a whole bunch of things and not good things. But I notice whenever this does happen, you'll have Brian Molefe and Marcelo Coco coming up, and they start talking about that and always saying how when they were in control, there was no load shedding. Now there's all these different stages of load shedding. And so, everybody is talking to that as well, that legacy of Marcelo Coco and Brian Molefe. Whether you agree or disagree, this is where Twitter goes every single time we find ourselves in this position. So those are big smiling topics that, not big smiling, sorry. I just saw a tweet of somebody just having their teeth that are shining through while everything else is in blackness. So at least they're smiling through the load shedding. That's what I'm seeing. And then just lots of other reminiscings of how bad it is. Phala Phala also coming in to take some center stage here. And Phala Phala for a couple of reasons. I mean, I think whenever you hear anything about the president coming up, Phala Phala starts trending. And this is the one where he's coming back from after the Queen's funeral. He'll be skipping the United Nations General Assembly to come and attend to the issue of Eskom. Many people saying, come and attend to the Phala Phala issue, never mind the Eskom issue. We want to hear from you about this. So that's, one of the things that always does happen when you hear the president's name, and many are saying, do something about it, say something about it. We can't carry on like this. Never mind Eskom. We want to hear from you about the Phala Phala issue. So Phala Phala will always be a talking point until this matter is addressed properly. And we do know that is just how Twitter rocks, whether he likes it or not. That's what the president is wanted for, not necessarily Eskom. People want to hear about Phala Phala, and that's one of the reasons that Phala Phala is trending. All right, what's the next one? We've got Qatar. So here's another one for you. I mean, we're talking about the story that, the devastating story of that Upongolo accident where we saw 21 lives lost. I mean, 21 lives. And this is the big story that rocked us yesterday. And these are school children we are talking about. Sorry, not yesterday, on Friday, when that accident happened where a truck overtook and smashed into a bakkie. So this was just a terrible story. Then, of course, yesterday, the Minister of Transport puts out a tweet, and the tweet basically, very short tweet. It was sometime in the early, I think it was quite early in the morning, I just want to get down to it. And the minister basically says, landed safely in, here we go, landed in Qatar, Doha, good morning. This was 22 hours ago, so this was where the tweet comes out. And then South Africa went crazy. Like, what are you doing in Qatar? And why are you not attending to what is going on here? You are childish, you're provoking your citizens. What are you doing? Could you come back and talk to your colleagues and start worrying about local issues? What are you doing in Qatar? You shouldn't be there. Another one coming here saying, for what, Fikile, when 19 children lost their lives on the very same road your office presides over? What is in Qatar for you? Do you actually want your job? That's one of them. And then Bonang actually also went out at the minister. Look at that. Bonang goes at these ministers, and well, the reality is if Bonang goes at them, they seem to reply. So what happens was, as soon as Bonang went out, he then released a statement very quickly about the horrific accident that they heard of. You know, we learned with great shock the accident that claimed 21 lives. So just people are not happy with the way things went. And then, of course, throughout the day, you saw all these snippets of the meetings that the transport minister was having in Qatar, but people were having none of it and just saying, we don't care what you're doing. You should be here attending to what has become an exceptionally dangerous road, and one that the community had warned you about many times, saying there is going to be a devastating accident there. And well, there you go. That's exactly what happened. So there you go. That's Qatar or Doha. I'm not sure which one it was. Qatar. That was what was trending. Then Oranje. Now, Oranje has been trending the entire weekend. Every single time I open up my Twitter feed, Oranje is sitting there trending. I'm sure you've seen it as well. And basically, it's just about I think what they're doing is they have started up something that's building up their own energy-starved South Africa, whites-only town. Oranje basks in solar power. So what's happened is that, well, this is a snippet I'm looking at. It's just a newspaper article saying, Francois Hubert, an engineer who designed the Oranje solar farm, poses at a farm in Oranje. Africa's most developed economy has in recent years been plagued by bad power supply. And then what has happened? Oranje, a town 620 kilometers southeast of Johannesburg, was well on its way to becoming totally energy independent in just several years' time. And they're just talking to the fact that they are basically ready to go off the grid. And this is what Oranje is all about, the opening of that solar-powered part. And the town and the people of that town have gone and actually taken it in their own hands to create something where they've just said that they have the privilege of opening phase 1 of their new oxidation dams, and that's what they have gone and done. So yeah, there you go, Oranje trending, and then everybody having a say whether they think it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I think majority is saying, well, then you see what happened when you come together and you say, well, we don't need you, we will do things ourselves. So that's just a story of that. There we go. That's your trending topics for this morning. Let's look at our question of the day. And, you know, obviously, I suppose we have to ask you this one, all about the power and what's going on. And your thoughts on the president cutting his trip short to address the energy crisis in South Africa after Eskom ramped up load shedding to stage 6. What do you think about this? And of course, remember that it is not going to end at stage 6. This is where we were warned yesterday. They had a press conference that was the Eskom CEO and CFO coming together, talking to us and saying they're in a very tough situation. They're hoping that by the end of the week they can sort something out. But for the rest of this week, we can expect the higher stages of load shedding. I mean, stage 6 is where we're at. But remember, I'm not sure if you've looked at some of these apps. We can go all the way to stage 8. Nothing's stopping us from going there. Or does it go even higher? Does it even go higher than stage 8? I'm not sure. Let me have a look quickly. Eskom, let me go. My favorite app, Eskom Push. They tell us what it is. We can go up to all the stages. Yeah, we can go up to stage 8. And then you might as well just call it quits. Just forget about it, because that's when there's just nothing. But anyway, we're in stage 6.